Welcome to Martha Runs the World, a podcast with a new take on running, fitness, and all things health-oriented. I'm Martha Hughes, your host, and each week I present a new topic that is of interest to all runners. Welcome to episode 150 of Martha Runs the World. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to do a little bit different show. Now that Thanksgiving is past, I would love to talk a little bit about why I think we runners should be grateful every day of the year. And not just runners, but everyone should be grateful every day of the year. But because this is a running show, I'm focusing it on runners. Our modern culture likes to focus everything on putting little labels on every day, saying this day is for this day is for that, this day is for this, and saying we should have one day to be grateful, one day to show our love, one day for this, one day for that. Well, I don't think that's necessarily true. Let's take Valentine's Day as an example. I cannot stand Valentine's Day. I call it VD for short. It's my little joke. It's my least favorite quote-unquote holiday. It's not even a real holiday. It's a basic day to sell cards, to sell overpriced, not seasonal roses. Why would you buy roses in February? They're not seasonal unless you live in the southern hemisphere. Roses are out of season in February, and you pay top dollar for them. Way, way overpriced. It astounds me what people pay on Valentine's Day. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why take one day out of the calendar year to say you love someone? Say it every day. Give them flowers, give them whatever, or just show your love to them every day. You don't need to give them something to show your love. Your loved one doesn't want presents unless they're like materialistic. They want your love. If it's true love, they want you to show your love, not give them something. And people, and ladies, men, some men, but mostly ladies, if you expect a whole bunch of gifts on Valentine's Day, that's not very cool, in my opinion. Expect your loved one to show you love, not buy you love. All right? Just my opinion. See, that's the whole thing, though. That's with Thanksgiving Day. I love Thanksgiving. It's one of my favorite holidays in the whole world. I love it because there's a lot of races, because we can run our race and go eat a bunch of food, be thankful to the people. We can see our family or our friends. And I love the fact that we can say thanks, but we should say that every day. Even if you just wake up, you don't have to believe in a God or a higher power or anything. But if you just wake up and say, thank you for this day. You don't have to say it to anyone. Say it to air. Say it to yourself, whatever. But just say thank you for this day and then get up and continue your day. It will be a better day. I guarantee it. If you're just grateful for the day, grateful for getting out of bed, if you have a grateful attitude every single day, it's going to be a better day. Your attitude will be better, and therefore your day will be better. I guarantee it. And sometimes it takes missing our wonderful sport to appreciate it more. If you've had any time off of your sport, if you've had any sickness or injury and you couldn't run, you certainly do miss it. So when you go back into running, boy, you certainly do appreciate it more, right? Definitely. This is true. So there's a lot more appreciation for it as you get back into it. So I'm going to talk about a few of the ways that I'm thankful for running and a few of the ways that I'm thankful about it. Even though it's a week after Thanksgiving, I think that we should be thankful for running every day this year. So I'm going to buck the trend and I'm going to say I'm thankful for running a week after Thanksgiving. All right? And I'll talk about that in a second. And then after that, I'm going to talk about the 5K walk I did on Thanksgiving. And I'll tell you a little bit how that went. My first race since my surgery. Now, on Thanksgiving, I noticed I was doing some research and reading some things for this episode. And I noticed that on Thanksgiving, or the week before Thanksgiving, all the the vlogs and the blogs and the websites and the magazine all put out things about how thankful they are for running. And it's been this way over the years. Over the years, everyone had all kinds of things about running. And it all about thankful for being running. How thankful they were for running, how thankful that running was in their lives, but it all centered around Thanksgiving. But it just occurred to me, why are they just thankful on Thanksgiving? Is it just a trend just to say they're thankful then? Aren't they thankful for running in December and January and February all year long? Can't we say we're thankful for running in August? I'm thankful for running even though I can't do it yet. I'm still thankful it's there, and it will be there when I'm ready to do it. And that might not be for a little while, but it's still there. So let's show a little gratitude all year long. But I made a list of things that I'm grateful for, and I know that you probably share some of these too. So, dear running, thank you for bringing amazing people into my life, either through in real life, or through Facebook, or through Instagram, or Twitter, or any place else, or the podcast, any place else that I've met amazing people. I thank you for that. I have some pretty incredible real life friends, and I would never have them if it wasn't for running. They will be lifelong friends, no matter where they live, no matter what they do. They're still my friends, and they will always be around. I also have friends from all over the world because of running, and I know that if we meet, we'll just be great friends in person as well. And I have a lot of friends because of the podcast. I have talked to so many different people from all over that we are good friends because of the podcast, and I really am grateful for it. And I would never have had the podcast were it not for running. Just incredible people. And thank you for that. I'm so appreciative of that. Running also introduced me to a community that is so supportive, not even just my friends, but a whole community that is so supportive. The running community is just incredibly supportive, especially the trail running community is incredibly supportive. I see these great videos and I hear these great stories of all the trail running companies and the trail running groups and what they do for each other. It's just incredible. The hard work they do for each other, for people who are less well off or need help. For example, I did a show, episode 71. I did a show with Liza Howard of Band of Runners. She does this great trail running camp for veterans, for families of veterans in Texas. And it's a great week-long camp to get them out on the trails, to show them this great, wonderful world of trail running. And she has such a huge heart. I would have never known about her or the terrific work she does had it not been for the podcast. Thank you for inspiring me day after day. And this isn't even when I'm running. I am inspired not only from the people on my show, but I am inspired from every person who posts about their runs or their races or the videos that I see about races or runs. I'm inspired by each one of you. Whenever I see something about running, whenever I see a Jeff Peltier, who's been on my show, one of his videos, or one of Pete Peterson, who's been on my show, one of his videos, or someone else who posts a video about running or posts pictures from the runs, anything like that inspires me day after day. When I can go out there and get my runs in, I'll be inspired too. But just seeing my friends run, that inspires me so much. It keeps me going. You have no idea how much that keeps me going. It just seeing you all run. I love it so much. I just love it. Non-runners complain. You show too many running pictures. I'm bored of your running pictures. Well, we love it. I love it. Never stop showing your runs. Never stop sharing your runs. Keep going. Keep it up, because I can't get enough of seeing, especially of seeing countrysides, sunsets. Maybe don't show yourself in the same pose 20 times, but show the scenery, show wildlife, show sunset, sunrise, show mountains, show forests, show trails, beaches, that kind of thing. That I love seeing. I absolutely love seeing. Gives me new memories, moments, and gives me definitely new experiences. Good or bad, they are awesome. I've had so much fun, and I've had really hard times too, and they're both good. You got to have both. Sometimes it's not so fun out in the trail. Sometimes it hurts like you know what, but sometimes it's great. Sometimes finishing a race is just really fun. I remember one time it was just so much fun doing the race on my birthday, and there were some of my friends out there, and I got treated to a great lunch afterwards, and that was really fun. That was a great time. And then other times it was just really hard finishing. I remember finishing the Shasta 50K. That was hard. I was crying at the end, but I finished it, and I was so proud. I was just so very proud of myself. I could barely make it up to my hotel room. I was dragging myself. But I did it, and I finished. I was very, very happy about that. So that was cool. And the pictures, all that I take, and the memories that I have, is just everything that I remember, and the people that are there for me. It's a good time, and I love every moment of it, good or bad. You know, there's sometimes I remember losing both of my big toenails that hurt really bad, and I don't ever want to repeat that again, but it's a memory. Not a great memory, but it's a memory. So there are times that I wish it could have been a better memory, and I wish it could have been a better race, but it is what it is. It happens, right? And it helps me de-stress. Oh yes, when I go out and I get my runs in, or even now get a walk in, it certainly does help. And getting back out there exercising, if nothing else, if you can just get a few miles in, boy, does it help. It doesn't solve the problems. And I don't look at it as an escape. So one person said it helps me escape. Well, we can't really escape our problems. You can try to escape if you want, but you can never really escape your problems. I'm not a person to escape. I did that for years by drinking, and that doesn't solve anything. Escaping your problems is not an answer. It's not a good one. Even by running, if you try to escape, you're not going to. You'll just face them later on anyway. But it can de-stress. It can make the problems not seem that bad. And maybe you can work out a few solutions while you're out on the trail. A lot of times that happens too. Sometimes I'm out there and I think about things and I think to myself, okay, it isn't so bad. It isn't that bad. I'm out here in the beauty of God, in the beautiful natural wilderness, and it isn't that bad. Maybe what I thought of, maybe I just made it seem worse, and I just traumatized over nothing, and I made it seem worse than it was, and maybe everything's going to be okay. So instead of escaping, instead of trying to run away from your problems, just run for a while, put them aside, think of something else, or think of other solutions while you're out there, and you might realize that maybe things aren't as bad as they seem. Endorphins. Endorphins are fun. Endorphins are about the only drugs that I take for fun. And I love them because our bodies create them. They're the most natural drug you can get. Yes, they are. Yes, the drug dealers in my neighborhood, anytime they ask me, I say, yeah, do you sell endorphins? They give me a weird look. It's true. One time this guy muttered, and you can hardly understand what they're saying, but they want to sell you drugs. And I say, not unless you sell endorphins. And of course they don't, and they look at me weird. That's the truth. Oh, I'm such a weirdo sometimes. Yeah, that is my weird sense of humor. That running is okay. This is something that I saw in someone's blog. I love this. That running is the only time when I can fart and air snot with abandon. I love that one. Okay. Well, if you do, you have to remember the old saying, never trust a fart. A mile away from the bathroom, okay? Or from the restroom. You can't trust it. It might not just be a fart, right? You gotta be careful with those. Be careful. Take a couple handy wipes with you or some toilet paper because you might be in trouble. Gotta be careful. Have to be careful. That was probably a road runner, okay, who has access to bathrooms along their route. Us trail runners know better. We know how dangerous that can be. But the snot rockets, yeah, you can do that. But just be careful and don't do it. Just make sure no one's trying to pass you. Oh my goodness, that was a fun one. Running reflects so many life lessons. And it's true, it is a time for reflection and meditation. I consider it my time in church. I consider the natural setting on a trail to be probably one of the most holy places there is. Nature is holy. Nature is beautiful. I don't think there's a more beautiful place in the world. I certainly don't think a church is more beautiful or any man-made structure is more beautiful than a trail or mountains or the forest or a windswept hill. I think that's much more beautiful than a structure. And while I'm out there, I can think of all kinds of things. I can meditate. I can not think of anything and just keep my mind completely blank and just listen to the sounds. One of the wonderful things, and I miss it right now, and I plan to go out there in December, is going out to the Marin Headlands and hearing the gong of the buoy. And it's this gong, gong, gong as it floats on the ocean, and the gong, you can just hear it faintly. It's almost a rhythmic as it gongs rhythmically with the timing of the waves. As it goes up and down on the waves, you can hear the gong. And it's just the coolest sound. It really is the coolest sound I can think of. And I love that. I love hearing that because I know if I'm hearing that, I'm at the Headlands. And Headlands I love that area so much. It's my backyard. And I miss it. I haven't been there in so long, and I haven't done any runs or hikes there in such a long time. I think the first time I go back there, I'm going to cry because I've missed it so much. Running has taught me to push my limits. And yes, indeed it has. It has for so long. I've pushed my limits for a long time. It has taught me that I am capable of more than I ever thought I was. And I'm sure it's taught you that you are more capable than you ever thought you were. Did you ever think that you would accomplish a half marathon or a marathon or a 50K or a 50 miler or even more? Did you ever think that you would do what you do? Isn't that incredible? What an incredible sport. What other sport pushes you as hard as running does? What other sport do you have to rely on just you, not a machine like a bicycle, not anyone else like a team sport, just you and your shoes and your watch, just to go out there and get it done and be in a race and accomplish the goal? There's no other sport that is so that you can accomplish what you set out to do, but with training, with foresight, but you have to do it for yourself. There's no other sport like that. Running is singularly the one that is just self-contained. Yes, you do run a race with other people, and unless you're in the top of that race, you're really not competing with other people, you're competing with yourself. And that's what I love so much about running. We are competing with our own selves. Sure, we're running with other people, but I'm never going to be in the top of the race. I'm never going to compete with the top runners. I'm competing basically with myself. And that's what I love about it. Slowly but surely, my body adapts to the mileage and I begin to like it. No, I begin to love it. I love running. I love the feeling of running. I love being on a trail and even a technical trail and like it and understand it, and maybe even run a little bit uphill, not just walk it. Maybe you'll run a little bit uphill, and my feet and legs are coordinated that I can get through the rocks and the roots and all the system and get through it and be able to not look quite so gawky and quite so uncoordinated, that I can actually do it pretty well. I can't wait to do that again, too. That's the really fun part, isn't it? To know that you are doing it pretty well and doing a good job of it. Running has shown me how to pursue a dream relentlessly, no matter how big it might be. And yeah, that's it. That's really, really, really it, isn't it? No matter what, you can do it, you can pursue it, and you can get it done. And that's really, really big and important. No matter how much, you can get it done. You want to run a 100-miler? Then plan and train. It all comes in planning and training. You can do it if you plan and train for it. Take the time, do it right, and you can do it. And the last thing for me is running is like that old friend who you haven't seen for a long time. If you leave it for a while, you haven't seen, you come back and you meet each other up, and it's like you never left. You're still best buds, and you take off and you keep going. That is running is to me, and that hopefully is what it will be. I know I'll have to start over again. I know I'll have to do things over, but I know I'll love it once more, because that's what running has to be. Running to me is my life. I have to do it again. I have to, no matter what. So I hope you enjoyed those. It was nice thinking of those things, and it was nice thinking of all the memories it brought up. And it doesn't have to be, and you don't have to do that on Thanksgiving. You can do that any day of the year. It doesn't have to be the one day that society or everyone tells you this is the day for you to give thanks. No, you can do it any day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be on one day. So be thankful any day, not just on one day. Now I'm going to tell you about my virtual 5K that I did on Thanksgiving. Now I work at a clinic that's open every day of the year. But on Thanksgiving, they actually gave us a half day off. So I only worked until 1 p.m., which was really cool because I had to work till 5 p.m. last year. So I got off at 1 p.m. and I had enough time that I got home and I went and I had signed up for a virtual 5K because I missed the turkey trot that I usually do in Golden Gate Park. So I will do that next year. I'm going to take the day off next year, so I'll be able to do it. But I signed up for a virtual 5K and I went out and left the house. I think I started about 2 and felt pretty good. So I went out and I walked from the apartment and I walked down Geary. I walked through the financial district and then I wound up at the Embarcadero along the bay, and I walked along the bay and I put in the 5K, the 3.1, and it felt pretty good. It was a beautiful day. It was wonderful out. There was just a little breeze. It was about 55. It was sunny. So it was pretty nice out. Listened to some good music, got some great walking in. I took my time. I didn't go fast. I think I had like 20-minute miles, so it was slow. Didn't really hit the hills. I stayed mostly on the flat parts. Kept it mellow. I didn't want to do crazy hills or any fast. Didn't want to do it fast or anything. I just wanted to keep it mellow. And it was fun. I had a good time. My hip and my right leg felt pretty good. Most of it, I would say, The only time it got a little sore, it got a little tight in the last half mile. So 2.5 miles, it felt really good. And then the last half mile was a little tight. So up until the last half mile, it was okay. That mile got a little tight, and then I finished it off, and then I came home. It was neat. I got to see some of the big office buildings putting up their Christmas decorations. Bank of America was putting up their tree. They were decorating it. That was neat. I watched that a little bit. It was fun. It was just really nice getting back out there and actually doing it, doing a race. This was the first race I had done since my surgery. It was cool. The medal is really neat, and that'll be in the picture for this episode. It's like a movable medal. It has movable parts. It's really kind of cool. So it's fun. So that was fun. So I'm glad I'm really, really happy I did that this year. And then I wound up at the Bay, and there are a lot of people out. There are a ton of people walking, and because it was a beautiful day, there was all kinds of people out. So it was really neat. It was a nice day, and I'm very happy I did that. I really hope that you all had a good Thanksgiving and got some great races in. I know there were tons of Thanksgiving Day races in. My last year's, or the year before last probably, I did a big episode on Thanksgiving Day races with a lot of statistics. I'll do that again next year. We'll do another one next year with all kinds of Thanksgiving Day stats and all kinds of fun stuff. And I'll do more of one next year. But this one was a little bit different. All right. So that is the episode. And I thank you so much for joining me. And now everything will be on the website. If you want to give to Patreon, you can go to the website at martharunstheworld.com. I would truly appreciate it if you became a patron. And if you want to email me with any race reports that you have, that would be really great. I'd love that. You can do that at martharunstheworld@gmail.com. And until next week, let's tie up our shoelaces and go for a run.